a wall. That just makes no sense at all. So yes, there are some things that you can do to make things more accessible, versus you have to be smart about it. In terms of the villas, I got nothing. So whatever you're doing, it needs to be quick and accurate identification. When we get more into the medication, guys, you're going to notice a couple things. Medications are different colors. They're different sizes. The boxes are very obvious. And then you have strange things that happen where you have like 3 or 4 medications that all look alike. And then you get companies that are like really good about that and take the look-alike, sound-alike stickers that they use in the hospital and they put them all over everything. That's great, except for when you cover what the dose is, or the name of the medication. I have no idea what this is, but I know it's a look-alike, sound-alike. It could be anything. So that's not helpful. So again, you have to think about these things. And this is to you guys. I'm talking to you guys because in the very near future, in less than 2 years, you guys are going to be part of this. You're going to be going out there and setting up your ambulances the way that you like. It's almost like setting a dinner table, where you guys have a certain way that you like things laid out. And you're going to find weird things. Like you guys who are EMTs who work regularly with ALS providers, and you and I just had this conversation. Some medics are weird. They want things done a weird way. Like, I want you to spike my bag. No, don't spike my bag. I have to do that myself. And that's going to be you. And you're going to have to figure out how you guys want things. And there are things you're going to come to find that is easier for you and better able to have this occur, where it's going to be better for quick access for you specifically. Like for me, the first thing I would do is go in, I would open my 12-lead monitor, I would take out the 12 leads, I'd separate them because they always looked like someone was knitting with them. I don't know what happened. And I would separate them by 2s, take the electrodes, cut them into 2s, and then I'd put, like the leads that are next to each other, and I would just separate them by 2s. That way, when I knew that I needed my 12 leads, I'd pull them out and nothing was tangled, because nothing drives me more insane than pulling out my 12 leads and having them tangled. Why? I don't know. I just can't stand it. So you guys will have this accessibility thing, and it takes time. You'll develop your own methods. But just make sure that if you're going to do this, you have to make sure that this accessibility issue is accessible for everyone, not necessarily just you. It makes a difference if you put tables, look-alike, sound-alike tape on your vials, and you know, but the person who's coming in after you doesn't know. That's not helpful. You didn't do anyone a favor. What's that? A 12-lead app? What? Oh, what, to read apps? Or to... I don't...
I think he's trying to make a joke.
I'm sorry. I haven't had a whole lot of coffee today, so it's nice tea. All right. So medication storage, you want to avoid direct sunlight. You don't want to do anything that's going to hinder the integrity of the medication itself. You want to obviously avoid extreme temperatures. I will never forget, I was working in Swarthmore in Delaware County, and if you guys don't know anything about Swarthmore, what I can tell you is that people call it the tree-hugging hippie capital of the world. I'm from Swarthmore, so I can say that.
So is that like a city?
Yeah, Tree City, calls that. Tree City.
Yeah, just the college?
Well, kind of. So, long and short of it, you have a lot of very environmentally conscious people who would come to me, and I was working in the medic unit, and they would say, your ambulance is running right. You shouldn't have your ambulance running. It's not good for the environment. You're releasing a lot of toxins into the world. And I'd have to explain, I'm really sorry, and I know, and I agree with you at the same time. If I turn my ambulance off, my medication's going to freeze, and that's not going to be good for anybody involved.
Honestly justify that to people. You would honestly say that.
Yeah, because it's a
you would be like,
moment.
please leave me alone, weirdo. Like, take a walk. Go up a tree. Get away from my ambulance. Hashtag hero status. Don't be here right now.
Hashtag hero status. You know what? Now I will. But then I didn't think about that. No, you explain it. You got to explain it. Teachable moments and all that good stuff. But again, you have to be cognizant of what you're doing. If it's in the middle of the heat wave, you shouldn't be parking in the sunniest area in the middle of a field you can. Find a tree. Park under a tree. If it's a really nasty weather and they're expecting tornadoes, you gotta be cognizant of these kind of things. So again, similar to all this, you need to, particularly with reference to your medications, direct sunlight is bad, extreme temperatures are bad. Physical damage, can I go ahead and get a duck? When I go out in Delaware County and I do my ambulance inspections, and it looks like an animal was chewing on something in the truck, and someone wants to get in a fight with me because I want to remove it from their truck, and they're like, no, the expiration date says it's still good. Well, no, it looks like something was gnawing on it. We have to get rid of it. It's not good anymore. Same thing goes for medications. If your box, the medication box, is unrecognizable, it's time to get rid of it. It medication on your truck that is badly accessible, is in danger of falling apart, or is completely illegible. Can't happen. Gotta throw it away. That's just the harsh reality of the world. But again, when we talk about medication storage, people don't think that about the stuff that makes sense. People are like, oh, just another page in my book. No, it's not. Because if you can't have access to your medication, you're going to kill somebody. Controlled substances. We got to have a lot more security for controlled substances than for your aspirin. Because if someone breaks into your truck, intent on stealing something to sell on the street, what are they going to go after? Morphine, fentanyl. I don't know if it's a Band-Aid. Or Narcan. That's the other thing people are going after now, the Narcan. Because now the word is out. Oh, it's the anti-dumb. You know, it's the anti-stupid. You got to get that. Because now they know that, you know, if a friend overdoses and they have that on hand, they might not need to call 911. We're getting that a lot now, too.
Good CVS, you got it.
I prefer bank heroin.
Or we can just have methadone.
So back to the controlled substance requirements. Additionally to additional security, there's additional record keeping. I can't tell you how many times complaints have come into the office where we have had to track down the last person who had the narcotics. And we have had to tediously go through these records of check in and check out and counts and everything else to track down the last person who went home with an empty vial in their pocket after dosing a patient. And due to poor documentation or no follow-through in restocking the truck, it becomes this big fiasco that is something very simple, and it was an honest mistake. You really have to make sure that your records are decent when in terms of dealing with the narcotics specifically. All medications, but really that. Dispose of precautions. If you have a needle, and you use a needle to draw up a medication, the correct place to put that needle after you have done that med draw and you're done with it is the sharps container. You don't reuse it. Period. It drives me nuts to watch someone draw up fentanyl from a vial, take that medication with the needle still attached, even though it's capped, and put it in their pocket. I get chills. I get chills. It's just a bad idea. That has just stupid written all over it. I'm sorry. You shouldn't do things like that. Don't do that. You have to think about disposal precautions. If you use, let's pretend that you have, let's do a little bit of medication math. Let's pretend that you're administering morphine. You have a patient who is, everyone's like, give it to me, Danielle, I'm ready, let's do this. And half of you guys are like, oh, it's not going to be hard. You won't even need your fingers and toes, I promise. So you have a patient who requires 8 milligrams of morphine. It comes in 10 milligrams and 2 mLs. I told you that earlier because of my story, right? So you have morphine, you're going to give 8 milligrams. How many milligrams are left over? Right? Okay, so you have 2 milligrams left over. Where does that medication go?
Waste.
Oh, okay.